And nothing. Customer complaint confirmed. What's going on, everybody? Today we've got an 04 Cadillac CTS that is a no crank. And on a pre-scan here, it's basically full of codes. Having to use the Autel because it'll do a full report, Snap-on won't. So as you can see, every module has some codes except for the diagnostic circuit check. So if we go into the report, just scroll down here, let's see what we're dealing with. And don't get intimidated by a lot of codes. There's no reason to. Pick one and go with it. Pick the most likely one. So we get down here to the powertrain. It's got 6 faults. You can see loss con with EBCM, climate control, dash integration module, vehicle theft. Well, that's going to keep us from cranking. Rough road sensor circuit. That's kind of an odd code, but we'll explain that later, I think. And vehicle theft deterrent fuel enable signal not received. So if the ECM isn't getting theft deterrent enabled, it's not going to crank. So yeah. So I think the cause of our issue is more class 2 data link malfunctions. It's going to be this theft deterrent issue. So, do we actually have a theft deterrent issue? Let's see. Did we have a theft deterrent on here? Right here. Look, it says it's got one fault. Let's see what the one fault is. Let's see, current history. Class 2 data link malfunction. Okay, so theft deterrent says it's got a class 2 malfunction. ECM says it can't talk to the theft deterrent, but yet both of them can talk to the scan tool. Why is that? Well, different data networks. A little thing that a lot of people don't know about, unless you've worked for GM and was a GM tech, or maybe you come across this through diagnostics. But on all data, if you go to the search bar here, just type in data, if I can spell, link, you're going to see this data link references. Even down here, testing and inspection, data link references. If you click that, it's going to bring up every module in the car and how they can communicate. So as you can see, audio amplifier, the dash integration module, all this is class 2. The engine control module right here, high speed and K-line and class 2. Okay. And more class 2 headlamps, K-line. It's a strange one, but that's what it is. Transmission control module is high speed and K-line. And then the rest of everything else is class 2. So, let's see, where's our theft deterrent module at? Theft deterrent module right here, class 2. So, do we actually have a class 2 issue? I don't think so. I'm pretty familiar with these things, and I can almost guarantee what's wrong with it without even looking at the car. I'm pretty sure it's a bad ECM. They're notorious for this issue. But we're going to diagnose it anyway. Alright, so since we know we've got a Class 2 malfunction, let's do a little reading under the description and operation of the Class 2 serial data. We're basically looking for 7 volts, okay, being made into data packets, essentially. So we're wanting to see a high of 7 volts and then a 0 and square wave, of course. It's very similar to any other data bus that you've seen before. So this goes into some details about it, but that's the gist of it. We want to see square wave, 0 to 7 volts. So on the snap-on here, we've got it pinned into the DLC and then just grounded to metal under there. Yeah, I know, not battery ground, but for what we're going to show, it'll be fine. So if I take and turn key on, you can see we get data immediately. You can see we've got our 7 volts here. And this stupid seat's trying to crush me. So at the DLC, you can see that we've got our good data signal. Nothing wrong with this data signal. It looks perfectly fine. But yet the ECM says it can't talk to anything on this data line. So we need to find out, is the data getting to the ECM? So let's go out to the ECM and see if we've got this data. Alright, so I've got the scope connected. I've got a diagram pulled up that says it's pin 48, and then also the connector view shows pin 48 being right there on connector C2, and I just know this is C2 because I've done so many of these. And we're connected ground. I've also got jumper cables hooked up to my van because the battery is weak. So here on the scope, I've got key off. As you can see, we're flatlined at 0. And if I turn the key on, voila, we have good data. Data getting to the ECM. I mean, the only thing left is check powers and grounds to this thing, and there we go, confirmed bad ECM. So I already know the powers and grounds are going to be good though, because I've done so many of these. I've seen this problem time and time again. But I'm going to go ahead, I'll check everything with a test light, voltmeter, you know, make sure everything's good. But that's pretty much it. That's the diagnosis. So all those codes basically is due to the ECM having one fault in it, and that is just it can't see the class 2 anymore. That's it. So my recommendation, I don't think you can get these things new anymore. So my recommendation is get a brand new one if you can. If not, if you got to get used ones, get 2, because chances are they're bad. Maybe one of the 2 won't be bad, or hopefully you get real lucky and they're both good, and then you can have a spare for when it does go bad. But that's it. That's my diagnosis on this one. I'll continue to check powers and grounds, and if I find something wrong with them, I'll bring you back along. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you later.